Welcome to Blacktown City Council's online budget forum. I'm Kerry Robinson. It's my great pleasure to be the CEO of Blacktown City Council. Tonight we start, as always, by acknowledging that the Darug people were the traditional custodians of the land on which we meet today. We pay our respects to elders, past, present and emerging, and acknowledge the Aboriginal people for their custodianship of this land. This is our third online forum, and this one is, of course, about our 2021-22 budget. We will hear tonight in person from our Mayor, Councillor Tony Bleasdale, OAM. Good evening to you, Mr Mayor.
Good evening, Kerry, and good evening to everybody.
Tonight we also have with us our special guest speaker, Mr Richard Errington, who is the CEO of West HQ. Good evening, Richard.
Thank you, Kerry. Good evening, Mayor Bleasdale. I'm looking forward to a very informative evening.
Thanks, Richard. Tonight we'll get an update on some of the major developments which are happening across Blacktown. We'll answer some of your questions and we'll wrap it all up with some views of Richard and the Mayor about the economy of Blacktown City and its tremendous growth. But first, let's have a look at the budget for next year, 21-22.
Hi there, Tony Bleasdale, Mayor of Blacktown City. It's my privilege to bring you details of Blacktown City Council's draft 2021-22 budget and operational plan. I'm proud to announce that we are delivering a balanced $656 million budget despite the pressures of COVID-19. At the height of the pandemic, my fellow councillors and I made a commitment. 1. Council would maintain services. 2. Preserve the health and well-being of our residents and council staff. And 3. Continue the transformation of Blacktown into a modern, sustainable city. Can I say we honoured that commitment? The $80 million Warwick Lane redevelopment in the city centre is nearly complete. Work has begun on the $100 million International Centre of Training of Excellence at Blacktown International Sports Park, and construction will begin this year on a $30 million animal rehoming centre. Council's draft budget includes a major capital works programme of more than $150 million. We're spending over $56 million on parks, playgrounds and sporting fields. We're allocating more than $25 million to our childcare centres. Building and maintaining our roads, bridges and footpaths will cost more than $56.5 million. Our waste services cost more than $60 million a year. Council has allocated nearly $30 million to our leisure centres, arts centres and community facilities, and $10 million to our 5 libraries. The northwest of Blacktown City is a centre of major residential and industrial growth and development. Council will spend more than $65 million on buying land in the new release areas. The land will be used for water and drainage infrastructure. Building that infrastructure in the new areas will cost Council more than $20 million. Families in the new areas need open space. Council will spend over $12 million on parks and reserves in those areas. The budget delivers on promises made to residents, businesses and our loyal council staff. Full details of the draft 2021-22 operational plan and budget can be found on Council's website. Thank you for watching.
So, Mr Mayor, you've given us some details of the budget, but could you tell us how has COVID-19 affected Council's operations and budget?
Well, Kerry, of course, there's no doubt, and we all know, the pandemic affected our revenue. We had to close, of course, at that time, aquatic, leisure centres. We had to close libraries and community centres and halls. We were restricted in our face-to-face dealings with residents and, of course, the local business community. We lost commercial rents. In addition, we had extra cleaning expenses because of COVID-19. We maintained, though, all of our services. We collected the garbage. We fixed the roads, as you know. We kept building and we kept our people in jobs. 2,200 people still employed. That was the most important thing. We estimated that COVID-19 would cost us about $24 million
over 18 months. But through responsible financial management, we look like being in a better position than, of course, originally forecast. So that's not to say, though, if we again went into lockdown and shutdowns, we could be facing, of course, more revenue shortfalls going forward.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. And Richard, you are the CEO of West HQ, one of the bigger businesses within Blacktown City, and you'll provide us with a lot more further on tonight. But just briefly, Richard, can you tell us what impact did COVID have on your operations?
Well, the timing wasn't ideal for us, and it provided quite a challenge because we as an organisation had taken a large debt to fund new development, new infrastructure with the Sydney Coliseum Theatre and a number of new restaurants. In fact, the theatre wasn't even open 100 days when COVID closed us down on the 23rd of March. We were closed, our core services were closed for 3 months, to 7 months our fitness businesses and the theatre. So being the largest non-government employer in Western Sydney with over 600 employees, our primary concern was obviously the well-being of our employees during this period and also the financial support. However, similar to Blacktown Council, it really gets down to financial discipline and the strength of the organisation, and that saw us through. But we envisage what we'd hoped to achieve in the year 2020. We're on track now to achieve that in 2022, so we've lost 2 years effectively.
Thanks very much, Richard. Here in Blacktown CBD, there's a lot going on. The Warwick Lane redevelopment, the ACU, Australian Catholic University's new campus in our CBD, the planned Blacktown Brain and Spine Institute right here in the centre of the CBD are all transforming the Blacktown Retail and Commercial Centre, the part of the CBD south of the railway line. But in the north of the railway line, in that area up to 3rd Avenue, there's a lot of development activity, and our Mayor, Councillor Bleasdale, has been taking a look at that area.
Yes, I certainly have, Kerry, and as you know, there are a whole range of developments taking place in that regard in that side of the railway line. I understand there's something like 14 development applications already in place in terms of that development. So we know that that will bring with it a whole range of opportunities for residential development, more job opportunities, of course, going forward. And I think it will add to the enormous activity that has taken place in Blacktown City.
And Mr. Mayor, we've got a little video of that right now.
Thank you, Kerry.
Hi there, it's Tony Bleasdale, the Mayor of Blacktown City. There's a lot going on in our city centre. Students at ACU's Blacktown campus. We're redeveloping the Warwick Lane precinct, and the CBD is changing. A transformation 10 years in the making. Our master plan for the city centre, and the plan includes exciting developments just across the railway line. The plan unlock underused sites north of the railway and create more open space. The area bounded by Sunnyholt Road, 3rd Avenue and Boys Avenue will come alive. Residential and commercial development underway or planned. Okay, let me show you around.
Council sold the land at 5 to 19 George Street through a competitive tender to GLP Developments.
Construction started here 6 months ago. Behind me will be 2 high-rise towers, transforming the skyline, providing housing and commercial space.
And a new home for the Good Luck Plaza Retail Centre. That site can be redeveloped.
Blacktown Council has gone above and beyond in supporting us, working with us with overcoming all the obstacles. We started our business 24 years ago, and 24 years later, I'm sure you can see around that all the developments happening, the population growth, the community is growing, the new university that's happening, the ACU that's happening. Blacktown Council has so much plans for the city, and as part of the private sector investing into Blacktown, we're very confident that the sky's the limit for us.
I'm now in 2nd Avenue looking at 2 exciting developments.
This building will be 20 stories
170 residential units, nearly 700 square metres of commercial space. Just down the road at 2 to 8 2nd Avenue, a striking development. Work has already finished at this stunning building at 1 Boys Avenue. 20 levels of apartments and 2 levels of commercial space. Residents in this building overlook the council-owned car park. Under the master plan, this will become open space, a much-needed park on the northern side of the railway. Providing more green space in the Blacktown city centre, council is also planning a public plaza linking the park to the station. The northern precinct will be pedestrian friendly and connected to the city centre south of the railway. The northern precinct is a vital part of the transformation of the Blacktown city centre. A modern city centre, a safe and sustainable place where people can live, work, study and play. Welcome to your Blacktown city centre.
And now we have our first question from the community, and that comes from Sue Hunter-Lawrence, the very, very energetic president of the Riverstone, Schofields and District Chamber of Commerce. Sue asks, Mr Mayor, can you update us on the latest developments with the Riverstone Town Centre Master Plan? We're concerned, the Chamber is concerned, that the Master Plan does not address traffic, transport and green space issues. Also, why has it not included some of the areas to the west of the railway line?
Well, thank you, Sue, for that question. And of course, as you know, Riverstone Town Centre Master Plan has been in the making for far, far too long, as you and I know. And many people in Riverstone know that, and we certainly in Blacktown Council. Council adopted its Town Centre Master Plan back in November 2017. And of course, the Riverstone community overwhelmingly supported Council's proposal to create a traditional main street along Market Street that will be a key focal point in the town centre. We needed to change the planning controls to bring the master plan to life, and of course Council prepared a planning proposal which will rezone some land, amend permissible building heights to facilitate renewal of the town centre, including the creation of a community hub and a village green. And Council placed the planning proposal on public exhibition in February 2020. So, after considering all of the public comments that occurred, it was sent to the Planning Department of the Planning for approval by the Minister for Planning himself and the State Government. The State Government is frustrated, let me tell you, this process many, many times. I'm totally disappointed the way that has occurred on so many different occasions. The department says development in the town centre cannot go ahead until the state has upgraded the regional road network. This includes Bandon and Garfield roads and getting rid of that nightmare level crossing, as you know, at the rail station. Council agrees, I'm telling you, with the community that Riverstone needs a bypass. We need the traffic sorted out. It is a nightmare for so many that live in Riverstone. Transport for New South Wales, all I say is, for God's sake, get on with it. Make it happen. The state government also says that planning controls can't be changed until the state has made decisions now on flood evacuation for the whole of the Hawkesbury and Nepean Valley. This matter has been with Infrastructure New South Wales, let me tell you, for many, many years. So once the state government fixes the issues of flooding, traffic, the planning minister can finalise the plan and give Riverstone the town centre that I believe and my council believes it needs. The state government encourage, of course, as you know, massive residential development in Riverstone and Marsden Park. Therefore, it's obvious it must provide the road and transport infrastructure to support this rapid growth. As far as including areas west of the railway line in the master plan, again, that will depend on the state government. But our priority as a council is to get on with the development of the town centre of Riverstone. It's certainly got my full support, my council's support, but we want the state government to move ahead and make some decisions Stop procrastinating.
Thank you very much, Mr. Mayor. To change topic, West HQ is one of the biggest employers in the Blacktown economy. It's a great venue which is providing recreation and a whole range of opportunities for the community of Blacktown City. Let's have a quick look at that operation which Richard Errington, who's with us this evening, runs as its CEO. Richard Errington arrived at Rudy Hill RSL some 15 years ago with a world of hospitality experience under his belt. That included experience at the MCG, Stadium Australia, the Compass Group, Sydney Convention and Exhibition Centre, and even at Eden Park in Auckland in New Zealand. Under his stewardship, West HQ has become a multifaceted venue with a world-class range of sporting, health, recreation, accommodation and entertainment opportunities. Richard, what gave your organisation the confidence to push ahead with the $100 million Sydney Coliseum project?
Thanks, Kerry. The name West HQ was a name change in 2019, which reflected us desiring to become a complete destination. The population growth in Blacktown, we needed to remain relevant to the community, and also with increasing competition in the local area, meant some 10 years ago we needed to come up with a plan for the future. And that future was to diversify, to be more than just a small suburban club, the Rudy Hill RSL. We needed to be more for the community and more for the Greater Sydney, actually. So the services that we chose were our core business services in fitness, accommodation, entertainment, food and beverage. The transformation, similar to the Blacktown City Council, as you progress as an organisation, was to become a true destination and to be able to attract nearly 4 million annual visits to that destination. We wanted to provide world-class facilities to Blacktown. We have done so through the Sydney Gymnastic and Aquatic Centre, where 2 of our local residents will be going to Tokyo to participate in the Olympic Games. We've had world-class entertainment already at the Sydney Coliseum Theatre, which, as was earlier said, was an investment of $100 million. But what gave us the confidence was a visit to Barangaroo in the CBD. And only 6 years ago, Barangaroo was a used shipping container port. And it now, today, is a place where people meet, eat, work, stay and play. Well, that's West HQ. That's our aspiration, is to be exactly that, but to be that for the city. And that transformation is to become a complete destination. So the investment, the infrastructure, has all been planned on providing to the community what you want. It doesn't work if we provide only what we want to provide. It's listening to the community and working close with our partners. And we're very grateful that Blacktown City Council is one of those partners, where we're able to acquire the data, the census data on the community and what the community is looking for. The age, the demographic, the different nationalities, all helps us to remain relevant as a large business in this community. So it's not about what we provide today, it will also be about what we'll provide in 10 years' time. Because a wise old man told me, in 10 years' time, you'll be 10 years older. So our services need to remain relevant to all age groups in the community. Equally, we're a large employer. So when we create and invest in the local community, we create jobs, real jobs for Western Sydney. And while there may be skill shortages, in Western Sydney there's opportunity for employment because our local residents don't need to commute into the city for employment. And we provide that employment through a variety of different industries now here at West HQ. The Sydney Coliseum Theatre, or the Opera House of the Western Sydney, I believe is a 50-year asset for this community, where it will provide diversity, opportunity, and bringing culture and the arts. And we have a true belief. We have a true commitment, but we believe in the city of Blacktown. And that's why we invested so much money into the Sydney Coliseum Theatre.
Richard, thanks so much for your confidence in the community of Blacktown City, the growing community of Blacktown City. Now we have the opportunity for another question from our community, this time from Jimmy Abdulrahim, and it's on youth services.
Mr. Mayor, what's the council doing for the young youths in Blacktown?
Mr. Mayor.
Well, very good question, let me say. I must say, I met Jimmy only the other day, and we really had a great chat. He's a wonderful young man. And look, one of the greatest ways we, as a council, are helping our youth, of course, is by bringing the Australian Catholic University to town, to Blacktown. And I've spoken to a lot of students in the recent period, and they're mostly local and thrilled to be studying really closer to home. This new university is a game changer. Our city is home, and let me tell you, to almost 60,000 young people aged between 12 and 24 years of age. So as a council, we try to give our young people every opportunity in life. Council, of course, as we all know, has a youth advisory committee which provides advice to council. And last year, of course, it hosted a state conference for hundreds of young people. We also have a youth ambassador program. We select 2 young people each year, and they represent our city at various events and functions throughout Australia. And of course, COVID-19 laid a few delays in that regard. But nevertheless, both programs give young people a voice, and they give young people direct access to council. We also, of course, operate the Emerton Youth Recreation Centre, and we are a strong supporter of the Blacktown Youth Services Association that operates in Blacktown. We bring together over 30 youth agencies each month to work on common issues through the Mount Druitt Blacktown Youth Services Network. In addition, Council runs regular youth forums, and we also finance scholarships, programs at TAFE and university, as well as providing thousands of dollars in sporting grants to individuals and clubs. We want to be part of the youth of Blacktown City. We want them to be part of council, because they will be running the city sooner or later. So nevertheless, as a council, we're very proud of what we're doing in that regard.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. And Richard, can you tell us what role does the business sector have in the future of our youth in Blacktown City?
Well, the youth is our future. That's our view, very clearly. We provide opportunity through our recreational services, through the Sydney Gymnastic and Aquatic Centre, where we've put through now, in 7 years, nearly 40,000 young children through Learn to Swim programs and aquatic recreational gymnastics from the age of 5 through to the age of 24. There's participation programs and the ability to compete and raise to state levels. Fitness Club is also another addition that we provide for the youth services. So there's a real participation program in the recreation. But we also now have the arts, where we provide opportunity through dance and cheerleading. And we've just formed a relationship or a partnership with NIDA, where the local people in Blacktown will be able to form with NIDA and their programs. So it's the ability to experience live theatre. A community participation event that we led was with the Athletics Australia in Run West by bringing a community participation event here to the city of Blacktown. But equally, and most importantly, we also provide jobs and employment opportunities as well. But the youth is our future.
Thanks very much, Richard. You mentioned Learn to Swim, and one of the statistics that I love to use when I'm talking about the great things that Blacktown City Council does is the fact that at any point in time we have about 8,000 people being taught how to swim within our city. Fantastic job to our Learn to Swim people. The next question we have is on seniors, and it's from Maria Rivera, a nurse at the Minchinbury Manor.
What are your plans for senior Blacktown City?
Well, thank you, Kerry, and thanks, Maria, for that question. Of course, she and her fellow nurses and staff at the Minchinbury Manor do a fantastic job. In fact, I was there only recently at a 100th birthday, believe it or not, at the same location. So in Blacktown City, Kerry, we have over 70,000 people aged over 55. Our seniors are in paid work and part-time work. They're volunteers, they're carers, parents, grandparents. Some of them are even councillors on the Blacktown City Council, believe it or not. So all of our seniors provide invaluable contributions to our community. We are committed, of course, as a council to supporting our seniors in so many different ways. We provide, as a council, an additional pensioner rate rebate of $200 funded entirely by council, and we provide free personal duress alarms to frail aged seniors. We have 4 senior centres providing a range of free and low-cost activities. We run senior festivals at Seven Hills, Blacktown, Riverson and Mount Druitt. And of course, council provides free one-on-one digital mentoring for seniors. We also, of course, going forward, run seniors aqua aerobics, exercise classes, and on top of that, council provides a voice for our seniors through its Seniors Advisory Committee. So we're very much committed to supporting our seniors in the Blacktown LGA, no doubt about that.
And Richard, I've been to West HQ on many occasions, and I know that seniors are important to the way you run. Can you tell us a bit about how you engage with the seniors in our community?
Well, West HQ is a destination for all ages. One of the most important criteria was firstly to design a building that could accommodate the aged. There's no sense having a building which has got stairwells. So one of the major undertakings we have undertaken at West HQ is to put escalators through the whole venue, enabling the aged to move freely. Secondly is to have security and undercover car parking, but freedom of access and feeling secure is one of the key criteria for the seniors. But it's not just simply that, we're also a meeting place for the senior community, and whether that be through exercise and class or entertainment we provide or value for money services, there's always an activity to celebrate an occasion or a reason, and it's giving the seniors a purpose of life. So we're just simply a meeting place for the senior community.
Thanks very much, Richard. Our next community question comes from Kim Spitz from Doonside, and as a person who grew up in Doonside, I'm very keen to hear the answer to this question. We've been waiting for years for lifts at the Doonside railway station. Many people are inconvenienced daily without those lifts that could so easily be provided by the state government. The elderly, the disabled, and not to mention bike riders and mums with prams. But I didn't see any mention of that in council's budget. Mr. Mayor, why not?
Well, Kerry, look, let me say, the short answer to your question, Kim, is the lifts at Doonside Station should be in the state government's top priority budget. And let me tell you this, it's the responsibility of Transport for New South Wales that they do this. Our community, let me say, as you have said, correctly so, has been asking and demanding station lifts at Doonside, believe it or not, for over 25 years. 25 years. So Doonside Station, of course, was first earmarked for improvements, I understand, in 2011 and has been constantly overlooked for funding. It's an absolute joke. It's one of the busiest railheads on the Sydney network. So in 2019, we were furious enough when Doonside was dropped from the station upgrade programme altogether in New South Wales. And of course, our local member, Stephen Barley, obtained 11,000 residents on a petition that was tabled in Parliament by himself and others. And the parliamentary debate on the petition marked, in my opinion, a major milestone in the ongoing campaign for lifts at Doonside. Finally, of course, the minister responded. They were embarrassed enough by announcing funding to undertake investigations and planning for the Doonside station lifts. So Transport for New South Wales, I understand, recently began those investigations. This is 25 years. Council has asked for a timetable. We've asked them to tell us when will this happen, what's the planning, when will the planning and construction of the lifts be happening in Doonside? And you know what? We're still waiting for an answer. They still have not answered this question. So let me tell you this, we will keep you and the community updated on any developments, and believe you me, we'll keep up the pressure on the government until we get those lifts for Doonside. There's no doubt about that. We shall not give up on this issue. Government needs to give it an absolute priority, and we will.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. And now for our final community question, it's back to the budget. Sion Hawanga asks, is the balanced budget based on the financials for the 1920 financial year? If so, how is there a predicted loss for 12 months due to COVID-19? And if there is a loss, how is that possible when council still collects the same rates? Fortunately, I can give an answer to that. Our 21-22 budget is a financial forecast. It's not a report on last year's financials. In regard to the losses due to COVID, these relate to revenue which council lost when it was necessary to close some of our community facilities, to limit attendance at our pools, and to pull back on other services that we were forced to do due to the public health orders. At the time that we were doing that, of course, we needed to up our cleaning, and there were other expenses that were required as a result of COVID. So now in closing, I'll just ask the Mayor and Richard Errington for their final remarks on what they see as Blacktown City's economic future. To you first, Richard.
Thanks, Kerry. I'll summarise in one word: confidence. We have absolute confidence in the City of Blacktown. With the new airport, new university, the infrastructure, roads, etc., we, West HQ, will continue to invest in the City of Blacktown to be able to service a growing population for the next 10 years, creating tourism, creating jobs. We're building and will have in place a second hotel, a 5-star hotel at West HQ with further family entertainment facilities. We'll be providing first-class restaurants that the CBD provide. You'll be able to now enjoy those in Western Sydney. So we will now provide, through confidence in the City of Blacktown, be able to provide what the East has for the West.
Thanks very much, Richard. And now over to you, Mr. Mayor, your summing up of our future in the budget.
Well, thank you, Kerry. I must tell you, look, I'm excited. I'm very, very excited about Blacktown City. Our city's economic future, I want to tell all of you out there, is absolutely fantastic. Council's transformational projects, our master plan town centres, let me tell you, will lay the foundation for billions of dollars in private investment. It's already flooding into the city as residential and industrial development continues. Job creation is happening as we speak. And of course, Council will ensure that the development is sustainable and in the best interest of our residents. We want good development. And of course, we want good businesses. But, and this is the big but, the state and federal governments must provide the public infrastructure. We cannot keep building if they don't provide us with the resource to make sure the roads and the networks and the hospitals and the schools and all of the things that matter for our lifestyles are placed right here in Blacktown City. So, of course, that includes transport, and also, of course, we must look after the environment. And as a council, we have a long-term plan in terms of protecting the environment in Blacktown. So, summing up, all in all, we have a fantastic future. The future's looking great for Blacktown. It's looking great for our community of way over 400,000, growing to 600,000 over the next 15 years. And I would say I'm very, very proud of what's happening. But we need your support to make these things happen as well. Thank you very much.
And that's it for tonight's forum. We'll get answers to all of you who've submitted answers, those ones that we couldn't get to tonight because we're time constrained. Thank you very much to our Mayor, and thank you very much to Richard Errington for giving up your time, and thanks of course to you, our viewers. And now we'll leave you with a look at the transformation of Blacktown CBD. Good night.